Kate Mason woke to the sound of her alarm in the small quarters aboard the exploration vessel, Star Wanderer. She had been dreaming of home of green grass and blue skies, but reality greeted her with the familiar hum of engines and recycled air. Today marked the 347th day of their mission to explore the outer reaches of the Andromeda sector, where strange signals had been detected. She dressed quickly in her Navy uniform with the silver patch of the Earth Exploration Corps. Her blonde hair was tied back in a practical bun as regulations required. Commander Mason was not just any crew member. She was the head science officer responsible for first contact protocols if they ever found the source of the mysterious signals. The ship corridors were quiet during morning shift transition. Kate made her way to the bridge where Captain Amy Rogers stood looking at the main view screen. "Morning, Commander." The captain nodded, her eyes never leaving the display. Something new today. Kate looked up and felt her breath catch in her throat. The screen showed an enormous structure floating in space. It looked like a massive ring with intricate patterns carved along its surface, glowing with an inner light that pulsed in regular intervals. "Is that what we've been tracking?" Kate asked, moving closer to the screen. "Affirmative," replied the captain. The signal originated from inside the structure. "Our scanners indicate it's approximately 20 kilometers in diameter and made of materials unknown to our database. How did we not see this before now?" Kate wondered aloud. Lieutenant Susan Beck at Communications turned in her chair. "The object appears to exist partially in another dimension. Our sensors could only detect the energy signature until we got close enough for visual confirmation." Kate felt a chill run down her spine. Partial dimensional shift. That was technology, centuries beyond Earth capabilities. She looked at Captain Rogers. They had trained for this moment. First contact with an advanced civilization, but training simulations never captured the mixture of terror and wonder. She now felt, "Captain, I recommend we approach with caution and broadcast the standard greeting package." Kate said. Rogers nodded her agreement. "Lieutenant Beck, prepare the greeting transmission, all frequencies, all known linguistic patterns. Follow First Contact Protocol Alpha." The bridge crew worked with practiced efficiency. Every person aboard had been selected for this mission. After years of training, Kate watched as Susan sent the carefully crafted message, a combination of mathematical sequences, images of humans, peaceful greetings, and basic information about Earth and its people. Minutes passed in tense silence. No response came from the massive structure. "Maybe nobody is home," Lieutenant Beck suggested. Kate shook her head. "Impossible. An object that size with active energy signatures. Someone built it. Someone maintains it." As if responding to her words, the ring structure suddenly flared with brilliant light. Its center began to shimmer like the surface of water. "Captain, energy readings are spiking," shouted Olivia Grant from the engineering station. "Something is happening." Kate watched in amazement as the center of the ring formed what looked like a portal. A swirling vortex of energy that stabilized into a tunnel of light. "We're receiving a response." Lieutenant Beck announced, excitement clear in her voice. "It's coming through on all channels. Put it on speakers," ordered the captain. The bridge speakers crackled to life, and a voice unlike anything Kate had ever heard filled the room. It was melodic, almost musical, but with impossible harmonies that seemed to come from multiple sources at once. The translator program worked frantically to decipher the alien language. "Welcome, travelers from distant stars." The translation finally appeared on screen. "You have been expected." Kate felt goosebumps rise on her arms. Expected. How could anyone expect humans this far from Earth? They had traveled farther than any human expedition before them. Captain Rogers stepped forward and addressed the unseen beings. "I am Captain Amy Rogers of the Earth Exploration Corps vessel, Star Wanderer. We come in peace, seeking knowledge and friendship." The alien voice responded immediately. "Your journey has been long. Captain Rogers, please enter the gateway. We wish to meet the humans, and especially the one you call Kate Mason." Kate froze. Every eye on the bridge turned to her. How did they know her name? The science commander with the curious mind, the voice continued. the one who dreams of grass and skies. We have much to discuss with her. Captain Rogers turned to Kate with a questioning look. Kate felt her heart pounding in her chest. The aliens somehow knew her. They knew her thoughts, her dreams. This violated everything they understood about first contact. We should be cautious, Captain Kate managed to say. We don't know their capabilities or intentions. The voice spoke again. We understand your caution. It is wise, but time grows short. The convergence approaches. We have selected your vessel from many possibilities. Your Kate Mason has qualities necessary for what comes. Rogers looked at her science officer. What do you think, Commander? This is your area of expertise. Kate took a deep breath, weighing the enormous decision before them. The aliens knew things they shouldn't know, which meant either advanced technology or some form of telepathy. Both possibilities were equally thrilling and terrifying to her scientific mind. We came to explore, Captain Kate said finally. To make contact. To learn that structure represents technology, beyond our understanding. This may be the most important moment in human history. Rogers nodded her agreement. Prepare a shuttle, she ordered the crew. We will accept the invitation, but with precautions. Standard first contact away. Team Lieutenant Beck, continue monitoring all communications. Lieutenant Grant, prepare emergency extraction. Protocols just in case. Kate went to prepare her equipment, her mind racing with questions. Who were these beings? How did they know her? What was the convergence they mentioned? And most importantly, what did they want with her specifically? As she packed her scientific instruments, Kate felt both fear and excitement. This was what she had trained for her entire life, to meet beings from beyond human experience, to expand knowledge and understanding. She would face whatever waited on the other side of that portal with courage and curiosity, the human qualities that had brought their species to the stars. Captain Rogers was not pleased when Kate explained the situation. The captain paced the small conference room they had been given inside the crystal structure. Let me get this straight, Commander, she said. These luminary want you to use your imagination to save the universe. Kate nodded, understanding how absurd it sounded. I know how it sounds, Captain. But their technology, their knowledge, it's beyond anything we've ever encountered. They can read our thoughts, perceive our dreams. Communications specialist Linda Perry spoke up. They seem peaceful, Captain, and they clearly need our help. Perhaps we should consider cooperating, security officer. Walsh disagreed. With all due respect, it's too convenient. They specifically sought out Commander Mason, claiming, the universe depends on her imagination. She gestured around them, and we only have their word about any of this. Kate understood the security officer's skepticism, but she had seen the pool of energy, the images of the parallel Earth. The luminary technology was real. Whatever their intentions, Captain Rogers turned to Kate. What does your scientific mind tell you, Commander? Is this legitimate? Kate considered carefully. The multiverse theory has been debated for centuries, she said. The idea that multiple dimensions exist alongside our own, many containing parallel versions of Earth with different evolutionary paths. It's scientifically plausible. And what I've seen of their technology suggests the luminary have found ways to manipulate dimensions in ways we can't comprehend. But can they really read minds? Captain Rogers pressed. Kate gestured to her data pad. I've been running passive scans since we arrived. Their biology is unlike anything we've encountered. Their neural structure appears to operate on quantum principles. What we would call telepathy could simply be advanced quantum entanglement, allowing their consciousness to interact with ours. That doesn't mean the convergence is real, Walsh pointed out. Before they could debate further, Ilara entered the room with two other luminari. Their pearlescent skin glowed more intensely than before, suggesting agitation or urgency. Time grows short, she said. We must begin preparations. Kate Mason must come with us to the Chamber of Visualization. Captain, Rogers stepped forward. Commander Mason goes nowhere without my approval, and I need more proof that what you're claiming is true. Ilara tilted her head, her galaxy eyes focusing on the captain. What proof would satisfy you? Rogers thought for a moment. Show us this convergence. Let us see evidence with our own eyes and instruments, Alara nodded. We can do this, follow. The luminary led them through crystal corridors to a large dome. At its center stood what appeared to be an enormous telescope, but, unlike any design the humans had seen, it was made of the same crystalline material as everything else, but parts of it seemed to fade in and out of existence as if not fully present in their dimension. This is the dimensional observatory, Alara explained. It allows us to perceive the boundaries between realities. Observe, one of the other luminary moved her hands in complex patterns over a crystal control panel. The dome darkened, and suddenly, the humans found themselves surrounded by stars. Galaxies, universes stacked upon universes visible as overlapping transparent layers. Kate gasped, "It's beautiful. Look closer." Alara instructed. As Kate focused, she began to see something disturbing. The boundaries between the dimensional layers were not stable. In some places they bulged and stretched, in others they had grown thin, almost transparent. And in a few locations, small tiers had formed where different realities bled into one another. Our instruments detect energy readings off the scale, Linda, Perry whispered, checking her scanner. This is real, Captain. Rogers stared at the visualization. Whatever this is, our equipment confirms unusual dimensional energy patterns. Alara pointed to an area where multiple universes converged. The nexus point. The convergence begins there. In 72 hours it will reach critical threshold. The barriers will fail unless the anchors are re-established. Kate studied the phenomenon with scientific fascination. What are these anchors exactly? They are focal points. Alara explained, nodes that maintain separation between dimensions. They must be precisely placed at dimensional weak points and tuned to the exact frequency of each universe. And my imagination helps with this. How Kate asked, still not understanding her role. Another luminary stepped forward. I am Lyra, head engineer. She introduced herself. Your human imagination is needed because the anchors must be visualized before they can be created. One must conceive of an object that can exist in multiple dimensional states simultaneously, while maintaining internal coherence. Such objects defy conventional physics. Kate began to understand. The luminary needed someone who could imagine impossible objects. Concepts that bridged rational science and pure creativity. I still don't see why it has to be me specifically. Kate said. Lyra gestured and a holographic display appeared showing brain scan images. Kate recognized her own brain alongside several others. We have scanned all humans aboard your vessel, she explained. Your neural patterns show exceptional activity in both analytical and creative centers. Most beings excel at one or the other. You, Kate Mason, have unusual connectivity between these regions. Your mind can hold contradictory concepts simultaneously without rejection. That is precisely what is needed to visualize the anchors. Captain. Rogers looked at the brain scans, then at Kate. This is your decision, Commander. You have my permission if you choose to help them, Kate felt. The weight of responsibility settled on her shoulders. If the luminary were telling the truth, reality itself depended on her. If they were lying, she still had a chance to learn about their remarkable technology and dimensional science. Either way, it was the opportunity of a lifetime. I will help, Kate decided. But I want our team to monitor everything I do. And I want full access to your dimensional science knowledge exchange for exchange. Alara made the wind chime sound again. We agree to your terms. The education of humanity was always part of our intention. The knowledge we share may help your species survive the next convergence 1,000,000 years from now. Kate turned to her captain. You'll need 20 hours to study their science before attempting visualization. I want to understand what I'm doing. The captain nodded. I'll inform the Star Wanderer of our situation and have them stand by. Diane will remain with you at all times. Linda and I will continue diplomatic discussions and catalog what we're learning as the humans made their plans. The luminary exchanged glances. The humans were proving adaptable and cooperative, good signs, but they had not told the complete truth. The convergence was more dangerous than they had revealed, and Kate Mason's role would demand more from her than she could possibly imagine. The process would change her forever if she survived it at all. The shuttle approached the swirling portal. Kate sat beside Captain Rogers, while Security Officer Diane Walsh checked her weapon systems one final time. The small craft shuddered as it entered the gateway, surrounded by ribbons of light that twisted and turned in impossible patterns. Kate recorded everything on her datapad, noting how the laws of physics seemed to bend around them. The journey through the portal lasted only moments, but when they emerged, Kate gasped in wonder. They were no longer in space, but inside an enormous biodome. The shuttle hovered above a landscape that resembled an alien garden. Massive crystal formations rose like trees, their surfaces reflecting rainbow light. Pools of luminescent liquid dotted the landscape, connected by flowing channels. Plants unlike anything from Earth swayed, though there was no wind, their colors shifting constantly from blue to purple to colors Kate had no names for. The shuttle landed on a platform that appeared to grow from the ground itself, forming a perfect landing pad as they approached. Remarkable engineering, Kate whispered. Or perhaps biological technology. The away team, consisting of Kate, Captain Rogers, Security Officer Walsh, and Communications Specialist Linda Perry, prepared to exit the shuttle. They wore standard environmental suits, though sensors indicated the atmosphere was breathable. They were taking no chances with alien biology. As the shuttle door opened, 5 figures approached across the platform. Kate stared in amazement. The aliens were clearly female in form, standing nearly 7 feet tall with slender bodies. Their skin shimmered with a pearlescent quality that shifted colors with their movements. Most striking were their eyes, large, almond-shaped, with pupils that seemed to contain swirling galaxies. They wore flowing garments that moved like liquid around their bodies. The tallest alien stepped forward, raising a 6-fingered hand in greeting. The fingers were long and delicate, ending in small points that looked capable of incredible precision. "We welcome you to Nexara, home of the Luminari." She spoke, her mouth not moving. The words simply appeared in Kate's mind, like thoughts that were not her own. "We are pleased you accepted our invitation, Captain." Rogers stepped forward. "I am Captain Amy Rogers, representing Earth and humanity. We come in peace." The alien bowed slightly. "We know who you are, Captain. The one called Kate Mason will come with us now. There is much to explain, and little time." Kate stepped forward cautiously. "I have many questions, if you don't mind." The Luminari made a sound like wind chimes, which Kate realized must be laughter. "Of course you do, curious one. That is why you were chosen." "Come." Security Officer Walsh moved protectively toward Kate. "Captain, we should stay together." Standard protocol. The lead Luminari turned her galaxy eyes to Walsh. "You fear for her safety. This is understandable but unnecessary. No harm will come to Kate Mason. She is essential, Captain." Rogers considered for a moment, then nodded to Kate. "Go, Commander. But maintain communication at all times." Kate followed the Luminari across the platform while the rest of the away team remained with the shuttle. The alien garden was even more beautiful up close. The crystal formations hummed with energy, and the air smelled like cinnamon and ozone. A strange but pleasant combination. "You have questions, Kate Mason," the lead Luminari said. "I am Alara, first speaker of the Luminari Council." "How do you know my name?" Kate asked. "And my thoughts." The Luminari walked beside her. Their steps made no sound on the crystalline path. Alara gestured to the environment around them. "Our species exists partially in what you would call the consciousness dimension. We perceive thought patterns as clearly as you perceive light or sound. Your species broadcasts thoughts quite loudly, especially you, Kate Mason. Your mind shines brightly among your kind." Kate struggled to process this information. These beings could read minds. That explained how they knew her dreams. She felt vulnerable, exposed, but also fascinated by the scientific implications. "What is the convergence you mentioned?" she asked. "And why am I necessary?" Alara led her to a structure that resembled a temple made of the same crystal material as the trees. Inside was a circular chamber with a pool of swirling energy at its center. The walls displayed what looked like star charts, but they moved and shifted constantly. "The convergence is a cosmic event that occurs once every million years," Alara explained. The boundaries between dimensions thin, allowing passage between realms. In 3 of your Earth days, the convergence will reach its peak. If certain preparations are not made, the dimensional barriers will collapse entirely. Kate felt a chill. The destruction of dimensional barriers sounded catastrophic. What would that mean? The end of all reality. As you understand it, Ilara replied to her unspoken thought. Every universe, every dimension would bleed into one another. Chaos would reign. Matter would lose coherence. Life would end. Kate stared at the alien. Why tell humans about this? Why me specifically? Ilara gestured to the pool of energy. An image formed within it, showing Earth. But there was something wrong. The continents were different, the oceans larger. This is not your Earth, Ilara explained. It is another Earth from a parallel dimension, one where humans evolved differently. Their minds developed the ability to perceive and manipulate the consciousness, dimension much like our species. Kate watched in amazement as the image showed humans with abilities that seemed like magic. They could move objects with their minds, communicate telepathically, even manipulate energy directly. These humans were our allies in the last convergence, Ilara continued. They helped us create the dimensional anchors that preserved the boundaries. But their civilization fell to war and environmental collapse 500 years ago. We have searched for alternatives and found your Earth. Your humans, while not telepathic, have something equally valuable. Imagination, creativity, the ability to conceive what does not exist and make it real. And me specifically, Kate asked, still watching the images of the other Earth. Your mind, Kate Mason, has unusual patterns, Ilara said. You dream more vividly than most humans. Your ability to visualize, to imagine is exceptional, even for your species. We need that ability to recreate the dimensional anchors. The process requires someone who can imagine the unimaginable and believe it into being. Kate looked at the alien with disbelief. I have no special powers. Am a scientist precisely. Ilara nodded. A scientist with extraordinary imagination. That combination is what we need. You understand? The principles of physics but can conceptualize beyond them. That is rare in any species. Kate felt overwhelmed. The fate of reality apparently depended on her imagination. It seemed impossible, ridiculous. But standing in an alien garden, speaking with a telepathic being from another dimension, she could hardly deny the extraordinary. What exactly would I need to do, she asked. Help us visualize the anchors, Ilara said. Guide our engineers to save reality. Kate Mason, we need you to dream with us. Kate spent the next 20 hours immersed in luminary dimensional science. Her mind stretched to comprehend concepts that defied conventional physics. The luminary used a form of mathematics that described reality in 11 dimensions, not just the 4 humans were accustomed to. Their understanding of quantum mechanics made Earth science look primitive by comparison. Security Officer Diane Walsh remained vigilant, watching as Kate worked with Lyra, the luminary engineer. Kate barely noticed the passing time, her scientific curiosity driving her forward. Diane interrupted only once. Kate, you need to rest, she insisted. You've been at this for 15 hours straight. Kate looked up from the holographic equations floating before her. Diane, fine. This is the most fascinating science I've ever encountered. Their understanding of reality. It's like nothing we've imagined. The multiverse isn't just theoretical. It's accessible with the right technology. Diane frowned. You won't be able to help anyone if you collapse from exhaustion. 1 hour rest, Commander. That's an order from Captain Rogers. Reluctantly, Kate took a break. She lay on a bed the luminary had provided. Her mind still raced with equations and concepts. She closed her eyes just for a moment. When she opened them, Ilara stood beside her bed. The luminary leader observed her with those galaxy eyes. You learn quickly. Kate Mason, Ilara said. We did not expect such rapid comprehension. Kate sat up. How long was I asleep? 3 hours. Ilara, replied your security officer, insisted we let you rest. Kate felt refreshed but anxious. Time was running short. The convergence would reach critical threshold in less than 2 days. She stood preparing to return to work. Before you continue, there is something you must know. Ilara said, her tone more serious. The visualization process, it will be dangerous for you. Kate had suspected as much. What kind of danger exactly? Ilara gestured, and the walls of the room became transparent, showing the starry void beyond and the swirling dimensional boundaries. The process requires your consciousness to extend beyond your dimension. To truly visualize the anchors, you must perceive multiple realities simultaneously. No human has attempted this before. The strain on your mind could be significant. Kate understood the implication. I could die. Not die. Ilara corrected. Something more complex. Your consciousness could fragment across multiple dimensions. Yourself could become untethered from your physical form. That sounds worse than death, Kate said quietly. Ilara nodded. It would be. We have protective measures in place, but the risk remains. You should know this before you proceed. Kate thought of her crew of Earth, of reality itself. If the luminary were telling the truth, the stakes could not be higher. What happens if I refuse? Ilara looked at the dimensional boundaries visible through the transparent walls. We have other options, but they are less likely to succeed. The convergence will still occur. Reality will likely fragment, but perhaps not completely. Perhaps some universes will survive. The weight of this knowledge settled on Kate. Her scientific mind calculated probabilities, while her human heart felt fear. Why didn't you tell me this before? You needed to understand our science first, Ilara replied. To comprehend the true nature of the risk and the importance of what we ask. Kate walked to the transparent wall, looking out at the multiverse. In her 20 years as a scientist, she had always pursued knowledge, understanding, accepting risks, but never anything like this. Does Captain Rogers know? She asked. We have informed her. Ilara said. She wishes to speak with you. Kate found the captain and Diane waiting in the conference room. Their expressions, grave. Linda Perry sat with them, looking equally concerned. They told me, Rogers said simply. Kate nodded. They did. The captain leaned forward. This is beyond our mission. Parameters, beyond anything Starfleet prepared us for. I'm ordering you to stand down, Commander. We will offer the Luminary alternative assistance, but I will not risk your mind in this manner. Kate sat across from her captain. The Luminary believe my mind has the best chance of success, she said. I've studied their science. It's sound. Their concerns about the convergence are legitimate. Rogers shook her head. The risk is too great. One life against the universe. It's not a fair choice, isn't that why we joined the Exploration Corps? Kate asked. To push boundaries, to take risks for the greater good. She looked at her friends, her colleagues. We all accepted dangerous assignments exploring the unknown. The only difference is the scale of what's at stake. Diane spoke up. We could return to Earth, request specialists, more qualified people. Kate smiled sadly. There isn't time. The convergence reaches critical threshold in 48 hours, and the Luminary have scanned everyone on our ship. My neural patterns are the most compatible. Their science confirms it. Captain. Rogers looked frustrated. I can't order you to do this, Kate, but I can't authorize it either. I volunteer. Kate said simply. I'm a scientist, Captain. This is the greatest scientific opportunity in human history, to help save the multiverse. To experience multiple dimensions simultaneously. Even if I fail, the knowledge gained could advance human science by centuries. The Luminari have agreed to share their dimensional technology regardless of the outcome, Linda added. They seem genuine in their desire to help humanity prepare for future convergence events. Rogers sighed heavily. When I accepted this mission, I never imagined making this kind of decision. She looked at Kate with sadness and pride. If you do this, it must be your choice, freely made, with full understanding of the risks. Understand the risks, Kate said, and I choose to proceed. Captain Rogers nodded reluctantly. Then, as your commanding officer, I will support your decision, but I want our medical officer present and full monitoring equipment. If anything goes wrong, Extract you immediately understood. Kate agreed, though she suspected once the process began, extraction might be impossible. She spent the next hour with the ship's doctor reviewing her medical history and establishing baseline readings for her neural activity. When the preparations were complete, Alara escorted Kate to the chamber of visualization. It was a spherical room at the heart of the crystal structure. The walls, ceiling, and floor were transparent, showing the dimensional boundaries in all directions. At the center stood a crystalline chair connected to various devices. Lyra, the engineer, explained the process. "You will sit here," she said. "The chamber will amplify your consciousness, allowing it to perceive multiple dimensions. Your task is to visualize the anchors to conceive of objects that can exist in 11 dimensions, simultaneously maintaining separation between realities." "And if I succeed?" Kate asked. "The luminary will use your visualization as a template to create the actual anchors," Lyra explained. "Your mind provides the blueprint, our technology builds the structure." Kate took a deep breath, studying the chair. "Is there anything else I should know before we begin?" Alara stepped forward. "What you experience may seem strange, frightening. Your mind will perceive realities it was not evolved to comprehend. Focus on the anchors. Remember their purpose: to maintain boundaries, to preserve the natural order of the multiverse." Kate nodded her understanding. She looked at her fellow humans. Captain Rogers, Diane, and Linda stood ready with monitoring equipment. The ship's doctor prepared emergency medical supplies. "I'm ready," Kate said. Sitting in the crystal chair, Lyra activated the chamber controls. Crystal formations around the room began to pulse with light. Energy flowed through transparent conduits surrounding Kate. The chair began to glow beneath her. Kate felt a strange sensation, as if her consciousness was expanding beyond her body. The walls of the chamber seemed to disappear. She could see the multiverse all around her, infinite universes layered upon one another. Billions of realities existing simultaneously. She gasped, overwhelmed by the vastness. Focus. Kate, Alara's voice seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. "Remember the anchors." Kate concentrated, remembering the equations, the principles. The anchors needed to exist in all dimensions, yet remain separate in each. They needed to be both solid and fluid, both singular and plural concepts that contradicted normal physics. Kate began to visualize. She imagined structures like crystal trees with roots extending into every dimension, branches that existed in multiple states simultaneously. She saw them as mathematical equations, as energy patterns, as physical objects all at once. Her mind stretched further than she thought possible. Pain flashed through her consciousness as her human brain struggled to process what it was experiencing. But Kate pushed through, focusing on the anchors, their structure, their purpose. Around her, the luminary watched in amazement. The human was succeeding where many of their own kind had failed. Her mind generating visualizations more complex, more perfect than they had hoped for. The anchors taking shape in the dimensional substrate. Kate was no longer aware of her physical body. Her consciousness expanded further, touching other realities, other possibilities. She could see everything. All of existence spread before her, like an infinite tapestry. And she could see the tears, the weaknesses, the places where reality threatened to unravel. Kate saw the multiverse in its entirety. Her consciousness stretched beyond human limits, each universe a bubble in an infinite sea, each reality complete within itself, yet connected to all others. Through this expanded awareness, she understood the nature of the convergence. It was not just a threat, but a natural cycle, a cosmic breath, the universes drawing together before separating again. The anchors were not meant to prevent convergence entirely, but to control it, to ensure the process remained stable. That realities touched but did not merge completely. She began to visualize the perfect anchors, structures that allowed connection without collapse, boundaries that were permeable, yet strong. She drew on everything she had learned from the bar, luminary science, combining it with human intuition and creativity. In the chamber, the luminary worked frantically, converting Kate's visualizations into actual dimensional constructs. Captain Rogers watched the monitoring equipment with growing concern. Neural activity is off the charts, the doctor reported. Brainwaves showing patterns I've never seen before. Heart rate elevated but stable. Is she in danger? Rogers demanded. I don't know, the doctor admitted. This is beyond our medical science. Diane moved, closer to the crystal chair. Kate sat motionless, her eyes open but seeing something beyond the room. Her body occasionally trembled with energy, pulses that matched the crystal formations surrounding her. Alara monitored the process. The anchors are forming, she told the humans, 20% complete. Her visualization is perfect beyond our expectations. How much longer? Rogers asked anxiously. Hours yet, Alara replied. The process cannot be rushed. In the multi-dimensional space Kate had entered, time had little meaning. She could see past, present, and future simultaneously. She witnessed the birth of universes and their eventual heat death. She saw parallel Earths, some where humans had achieved greatness, others where they had destroyed themselves, some where they had never evolved at all. She saw her own timeline, a thin thread among infinite possibilities. She saw the Star Wanderer, her crew, her mission from outside, as if watching a story unfold. And she saw something else. Something the Luminari had not told her. The last convergence had not been an accident, it had been engineered. The Luminary had deliberately weakened the dimensional boundaries in an attempt to access the power of multiple universes simultaneously. The experiment had gone wrong, nearly destroying reality. The anchors had been an emergency measure created by the Luminari and their human allies from the parallel. Earth, Kate felt anger rise within her expanded consciousness. The Luminari had hidden this truth. They had caused the very crisis they now sought to fix. She considered abandoning the process, letting them face the consequences of their actions. But that would mean the end of countless innocent lives across the multiverse, including her own universe, Earth. Humanity, everything she loved, would be destroyed. Kate could not allow that, regardless of the Luminaris' deception. She continued her work visualizing anchors, but now with a new understanding. She designed them with safeguards features. The Luminari had not requested limitations that would prevent future manipulation of dimensional boundaries. Without explaining these additions, she incorporated them into the visualizations. The Luminary engineers implementing her designs would not understand their purpose until too late. In the chamber, Captain Rogers noticed a change in the energy patterns. What is happening? She demanded. Alara looked confused. The anchors, they are forming, but with unexpected configurations. The human is adding elements. We did not specify, can you stop it? Lyra asked. Not without disrupting the entire process, Alara replied. We must allow it to continue. Hours passed. Kate remained in her trance state. Her mind spread across dimensions. The anchors took shape, incorporating her hidden safeguards. The Luminary worked to implement her designs, unaware of their true purpose. Finally, the process neared completion. Kate could see the anchors glowing across dimensional boundaries, stabilizing reality, preventing collapse. The convergence would still occur, but controlled, contained. Universes would touch, share energy and information, then separate safely. Kate prepared to withdraw her consciousness to return to her body. But something held her back. Her mind had expanded, too far, spread too thin across too many realities. She felt herself fragmenting, unable to fully return to her physical form. In the chamber, alarms sounded. Something's wrong, the doctor shouted. Her brain waves are destabilizing. She's losing coherence. Alara moved quickly, placing her hands on either side of Kate's head. The human consciousness is fragmenting across dimensions, she explained. We must help her reconsolidate. Captain Rogers stepped forward. Whatever you need to do it now. The Luminari formed, a circle around Kate, channeling energy through the crystal structures. Alara spoke in their musical language, commands that vibrated through the dimensional substrate. Kate felt their efforts. Her consciousness being drawn back, pulled from the vastness of the multiverse, but she had seen too much, experienced too much. She could not return unchanged. The Kate Mason who had entered the chamber no longer existed. With tremendous effort, she pulled herself together, focusing on her identity. Her memories, her humanity. But she retained awareness of the larger multiverse, a permanent connection to dimensions beyond human perception. In the chamber, Kate gasped, her eyes focusing on the physical world once more. She saw her friends, her fellow humans, watching, with concern. She saw the luminary, their expressions unreadable. "It's done," she whispered. "The anchors are complete." Captain Rogers rushed to her side. "Kate, are you all right?" Kate considered the question. She felt her body solid, yet somehow less substantial than before. Her mind clearer, sharper, aware of realities beyond the physical yes and no. She answered honestly, "I completed the task. The convergence will proceed safely." But I'm changed. Alara approached, her galaxy eyes studying Kate intensely. "You added features to the anchors," she said. "Features we did not request." Kate met her gaze evenly. "I saw the truth, Alara. I saw what your people did. The last convergence. The experiment. You created the very danger you claimed to be preventing." The other humans looked between Kate and Alara in confusion. "It was a different time," Alara said softly. "Our ancestors sought knowledge power. They did not understand the consequences. They nearly destroyed reality," Kate said. "And you hid this truth from us. We feared you, would refuse to help if you knew," Alara admitted. "And the danger remains real regardless of its cause." The anchors were needed. Kate stood from the crystal chair, finding her balance in this single reality again. "I designed the anchors with safeguards," she explained. "They will prevent anyone from manipulating dimensional boundaries in the future. The knowledge is still yours, but the power to misuse it is gone." Lyra examined the dimensional readouts, confirming Kate's words. The luminary engineers conferred among themselves, realizing what Kate had done. Captain Rogers stepped forward. "Is humanity in any danger?" she asked. "No," Kate assured her. "The anchors will protect all realities equally. They simply prevent deliberate weakening of dimensional boundaries. The natural convergence cycle will continue, allowing energy and information exchange between universes, but preventing catastrophic collapse." Ilara bowed to Kate Mason of Earth. "You have saved the multiverse, and you have ensured we cannot repeat our ancestors' mistakes. Your wisdom exceeds our own." Kate felt no triumph, only a profound sense of responsibility, for she now understood she would never be fully human again. Part of her consciousness would always remain connected to the multiverse. She had become a bridge between humanity and something far greater. It was time to return to the Star Wanderer to explain what had happened, to report the incredible discoveries they had made. But Kate knew her journey was just beginning. Her expanded consciousness would allow her to guide humanity to new understanding, to prepare them for their role in the cosmos as they prepared to depart. Ilara approached Kate one final time. "The changes to your consciousness," she said, "they are permanent. You understand this?" Kate nodded. "I know. I felt it happen. I cannot return to what I was. What will you do now?" Kate looked at her fellow humans, at the ship that would carry them home. "I will teach," she said. "I will help humanity understand the multiverse. Help them prepare for the next convergence when it comes. I have seen possible futures, Alara. I know what humanity can become. The potential for greatness and for terrible mistakes. I will guide them toward the better path." Alara touched Kate's forehead, gently. "Then you have truly become the bridge between our peoples, between all peoples across all realities. A guardian of the multiverse." Kate smiled at the alien woman who had forever changed her existence. "We will meet again," she said. "I have seen." The humans returned to their shuttle. Kate looking back at the crystal dome that housed the dimensional observatory. She could still see the multiverse, the infinite possibilities stretching in all directions. Her mind forever expanded beyond human limits. She carried that vastness within her now, a gift and a burden as the shuttle lifted off. Captain Rogers looked at her science officer with concern and wonder. What happens now? Kate looked out at the stars, her perception of them forever changed. We go home, she said. We share what we've learned, what we can share anyway. Some knowledge humanity isn't ready for yet. She smiled at her captain. And we prepare. Earth must be ready when the next convergence comes. 1,000,000 years seems long to humans, but I have seen how quickly it will arrive.